back to my channel. I'm Veronica with nurturingconnectionshomeschool.com, where I share planners, encouragement, and resources to help you connect with what matters most. Now today I am jumping on here for a quick minute to share with you my latest planner. It is ready. It is going up in the shop very soon, and it is what I call my Home plus School planner. So instead of homeschool planner, it's home plus school. So my heart behind this planner was to connect my home life and all the responsibilities I have as a wife and a mother and managing the home as a homemaker, and then my homeschool part, our lessons, our activities, our projects, our field trips, and all of that into one planner. So all these years, we've been homeschooling for 11 years. So up to this point, I've always had two planners. I'm a paper pen person, and I have the need to write everything down. If I don't write it down, it disappears in my brain and it basically doesn't get done. Or on the other hand, if I don't write it down, it just keeps looping in my brain and just starts creating all this mental clutter where I just get extremely overwhelmed and just feel the need to dump it somewhere so that I can move on with my days. So planning this way has helped me. I have tried digital planners in the past, but for me personally, the act of just punching it in and putting it in a phone somewhere just disappears. So I have since discovered that actually writing things down activates that reticular activating system in the brain and helps you actually follow through with those plans, remember them better, and for visual learners like me, it helps you kind of plan everything out and organize it in your brain. So I love it personally, but managing two planners was a bit of a challenge. There were times that, I just was in my homeschool mode. I had my homeschool planner out, so I actually kept them in two separate rooms. So when I went to the kitchen, I was doing my home stuff. When I was in the dining room, I was doing my homeschool stuff. And so let's say I was homeschooling and got a phone call and found out I had to schedule an appointment, for example, then I'd had to jot it down on my homeschool planner, go find my home planner, make sure I wrote it down over there, and it just was inefficient. So I have since put together this Home plus School planner. I'm sharing it with you here, but I also want to give you some tips. So if you already have your planner for the year, then I want to be able to share some tips with you that hopefully you can implement so that you can also be more efficient in your Home plus School planning. Now, for this upcoming year, I have opted for a disc-bound planner. So in the last video, I talked about binding options. In the past, I've used a ProClick system, so you can find out all about ProClick, home binding, using sheet protectors, binders, and the disc-bound system in that last video. I wanted something sturdier, something prettier. I wanted something kind of solid here versus laminated sheets. And I also wanted something that would hold a lot more paper. So I am going to do the entire year in here. And this holds up to 150 sheets. So this is the 1 1/4 inch disc. You can also go bigger, but because I am left-handed, I didn't want to go too big on that either. Now, when you purchase the Home plus School planner, you have to begin by setting it up. It is undated. Purposefully, intentionally, I've thought multiple times about dating it, but I wanted it to be a tool that you could purchase at any time and start at any time. And I know for me personally, as a planner, anytime I've wanted to start a new planner, it was important to me that I could do it immediately, that I didn't have to wait for a certain amount of time, that it would go all the way through where I needed it to be, and so forth, and that I didn't have all these wasted months also. So when you go on there, it actually guides you step by step on how to set it up, how to set goals. So that's the other important thing, is setting goals for your home, setting goals for your homeschool. So I'll be taking you through all that in the next few videos. I'm trying to keep these short and just to the point. But right now we're just talking about the monthly plan setup. So the first thing you'll want to decide is whether you want a monthly spread or a weekly spread or both. I've always done both. I did try just doing weekly for a while, but for some reason, just having that month at a glance at any point helps me just kind of map out things so that I don't overload certain days, certain weeks, and so forth. I know it's double work because then I'm copying it over into my weekly spread. But for now, that's where I'm leaning. If I see that it's just too redundant, no longer necessary, then I'll just switch over to just the weekly spread. Now for the monthly spread, I have two options. There is a one-page spread, so you can see that here. It's only one side. And then on the opposite side, it has a goal planning sheet just like this. So one of the things that I really am intentional about is establishing goals for each month and each week. I really strive to grow as a homemaker, as a mom, as a person. And so I want that personal development there. I want to make sure that I am meeting up with my friends if that is important to me. I want to set up opportunities for hospitality or ministry or date nights and things like that. And just taking the time to map that out at the beginning of each year really is helpful to making it happen throughout the year. Now, I actually just put an Instagram post up recently where I put the scripture about how we make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And so going into planning like this, I know firsthand that the plans that I have for each day and for the specific lessons and all that may or may not happen. We may change curriculum choices along the way. We may add in a field trip. We might have a sickness that we have to deal with or a life event that we have to deal with. And so things may shift along the way. But what I'm reminded of throughout all this is that the lessons, the day-to-day activities are not the goals themselves. They are the means to the goals. They are the means to the growth, to the connection, to the intentionality, to the purposeful living that I hope to share with my children. And so taking the time to goal plan like this makes sure that I am still working toward what is most important, even if things shift around, even if things change up along the way. We're still working toward the things that are most important to us. So I encourage you in this planner to begin with prayer. I will take you step by step through the process of planning out these types of goals. That will be in the next video. But for now, I'm just sharing with you the outline and how I chose to put it together so that it would be easy for me to complete at the beginning of each month. So at the beginning of each month, I will jot down events and celebrations here. This could be birthdays, it could be holidays, it could be anniversaries, recitals, things like that I want to make sure that I am looking forward to. If I need to purchase a gift, I'll have that in mind, and I actually have a place here for things to buy. I also have this here so that, again, it's a holding tank. If there's a big item that I need to purchase and I don't have the funds for it this particular month, I'll jot it down in the things to buy section of the next month or the following month. And so again, it's keeping me working toward those goals, but I don't have to hold it all up here all the time. Things to do, this is just general stuff for that month. Again, I'll take you through the automation process, but it could just be those monthly tasks that we have, like wash the car, things like that will go in there. And then I have specific categories. So what are some things, oh, there it is. What are some things I want to be intentional about as a wife and a mother? Maybe things like date nights would go in there, one-on-one time with each child, and so forth. Personal goals, I usually put taking some time to read certain books. Some of my personal goals is always reading a book on marriage or a book on homeschooling or a book on leadership or a book on parenting. And I try to read one of each type of book every quarter. So those might go in here as personal goals. Getting my hair done would go in here. Pedicure might go in here. So just things that I do to take care of myself so that I can be faithful in my walk. On this side, I have homeschool, so just homeschool goals. One of my homeschool goals is to have a field trip every single month. So I would jot that down as a reminder to schedule something to do with the kids. I might put a homeschool goal of getting through a certain number of school days by the end of this month. I may put lessons specifically on here, so however I choose to use that. For faith goals, a few years ago, my big goal was read the Bible every single morning. And so that has since become a habit that I don't have to write down every single day. But there are things that I can list on here, such as reading specific books of the Bible or getting involved in ministry every single month and just praying about what that can look like so that I'm growing in my faith and living it out. Home, this could be home projects like painting a room, decorating, fixing something, repairs, and that type of thing. Social goals, I do put on here friends that I want to reach out to that month. I try to get together with a good friend of mine from the 3rd grade. She's my oldest best friend. We try to get together for breakfast every couple of months. And so writing it down every other month or so is that reminder, oh, I need to get in touch with her. We need to get that scheduled, or just meeting up for coffee, play dates, that kind of thing. And then this one's blank here because that will vary. I do coordinate for an American Heritage Girls troop, so that could be what goes on here, specific goals for the troop. Or it could also be goals for this, for my YouTube channel, my blog, just setting goals for myself so that I can be intentional every month as well. So this is a general goal sheet that goes at the front of this as well. So it's meant to be printed two-sided. And then the 2-page spread, however, looks like this. So you'll see here, you just plug in all of the dates. You have most of the homeschool week up front and then the weekend where things taper off on this side. I have a box here for tracking the school days, along with 4 areas to write here. This could be for weekly goals that are automated, and again, we'll talk about that more next time, but it could be a number of things that could go in here. To-do lists, it could be meals, it could be specific lessons, calls you have to make, notes you want to take, and so forth. So this is the 2-page monthly spread. On the back of that 2nd page is just a blank notes page. And so this is intentionally done just to give you a place to jot down anything as it comes up. You can create whatever you need on there that will be helpful to you that particular month. So these monthly plans, either the 1-page monthly spread or the 2-page monthly spread, come in 4 colors. So I went ahead and did that purposely because after a certain amount of time into a year, I tend to get bored of the same color scheme and I like to change things up. So I went ahead and did that proactively because I wanted that option. So I went ahead and did the green. As you can see, everything is in that light muted natural green color. Then I made a yellow spread. I really like this yellow. It's really bright and fun. Kind of see how that works, and it's yellow on the back. It's hard to tell, but there's light yellow lines on there. Then I made a blue spread. So you can see the blue and blue lines, and followed by a pink one. So fun. I love the pink as well. So what I went ahead and did is I personally printed out the 2-page spread for my planner, and I did each quarter in a different color. So I started August, September, and October in pink, because I just really like those pink colors, followed by blues, and then I went into the yellow colors, and then green. I've been using the green spread all spring, and so I wanted to change it up now and just kind of keep it for summer next year. So that's how I personally printed everything out. That is going in my disc-bound system with some tabs along the way. And then what I'll do next is, as each month rolls along, I'm going to be printing out my weekly spreads. Now, the reason I'm not doing all of my weekly spreads at one time is because I tend to change things up along the way. And I already know that about myself, which is why I've always used a Pro Click where I could make changes, add them in as I went along. I wanted that flexibility. So I have my disc-bound system. I can easily do that. So I can print it out a term at a time. So every quarter, I can print it out every month at a time, just depending on what is going on that particular month or season. So my monthly spreads are going in. I have some tabs, And in the next video, I'll share with you the 4 different layout options I have available for the weekly spreads. So there's a 1-page option, there's 2-page options, and I'm also going to share with you how it combines the home part of planning with the school part of planning. So everything is in there. It's specifically designed so that you don't have to have 2 separate planners. So I'll show you all those layout options. I'll show you how I've used each of those in the past to coordinate both of those areas of my life, and hopefully it can be a tool that can help you organize your home plus school planning as well. All that will come up in the next video. Hope to see you there. But thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have any general questions, I'd love to answer those. I basically just doing these planning videos for the summer, but if you have any curriculum questions, organization questions, or anything else, just put Q&A, drop it below, and I'll be addressing those as I go along through this video series. But other than that, I hope to see you here next time. Like and subscribe on your way out. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.